everybody, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 here, and welcome to another video for you guys. Before I begin, I know what you all are thinking first right off the bat when you see this. Ricky, what happened to Linux Mint? Well, I'll tell you what happened to Linux Mint. Basically, what I decided to do, ladies and gentlemen, is, essentially, I got a new SSD recently. Got it off of Temu for about $34. Well, I tried, installing the SSD into my MacBook Pro, and my MacBook Pro didn't pretty much like the SSD. So, essentially, what I did was, an SSD switch, basically. What I did was I took the Samsung Evo out of my AMD gaming rig, and I put, basically, the SSD that I bought into the AMD gaming rig. That over there, I have to put a new operating system on it, but that's no big deal. In this MacBook Pro here is that very Samsung Evo that used to be in the gaming rig. And what I decided to do, ladies and gentlemen, is after a long, arduous, tedious process, I now have a fully functioning dual boot mid-2012 MacBook Pro that can go between macOS Catalina and Linux Mint Mate whenever I want. So yeah, I now officially have 2 operating systems on this machine that I can cycle between at any given time. It's cool. And it took me a little bit to figure out how to do the dual boot properly. And what I had to do is, since the macOS bootloader is already taken up, basically /dev/SDA1, which I found this out during the Linux Mint Mate installation, I basically did another partition in the macOS disk utility beforehand, put Linux Mint Mate on the new partition of my SSD, and basically, when I was basically setting up the partitioning in the Linux Mint Mate live installation, I basically told it to install to /dev/SDA free, which is basically where I wanted my Linux Mint Mate installation to go. And in the same area, I put the Grub bootloader into that area. This way, the macOS bootloader and the Grub bootloader are in their own separate areas. They're not conflicting with each other or anything like that. So basically, after I got Linux Mint Mate installed, I rebooted the machine. Of course, it rebooted into Linux Mint Mate by default, which I expected that. So what I did is, initially I was going to basically get Refined, which is a wonderful boot manager. But I decided to do something instead. I did a little bit of research beforehand on a forum thread, and in this forum thread I found out that say you're dual booting on a mid-2012 MacBook, and say you want to dual boot 2 operating systems, if you want to get back into macOS, upon reboot, you hold down the Option key. And essentially, when I did that, upon rebooting, the partition that houses my newly installed macOS Catalina that I installed first, it showed up. And I was able to get back into it. So, yeah, Once again, after a long, arduous process, I now have on my lovely mid-2012 MacBook Pro not only macOS Catalina, but Linux Mint Mate. The best of both worlds, basically. A proprietary operating system and a free and open source operating system. What more could you want? So basically, I've been inside my Linux Mint, not my Linux, my macOS Catalina side of the computer for a little while now. I got a few key pieces of software on here just to do like daily stuff on it. As you can see, I got Discord, OBS, VLC, Chromium, which is a secondary web browser. I've been basically playing around with this little guy right here. It is called the Orion web browser, and it's basically the best alternative to Safari. It is a proprietary browser, but I basically read the website, I remember looking into the privacy policy in the past, and it's a really good privacy policy. It doesn't collect any data collection or telemetry or nothing like that. It's a pretty good proprietary browser, wonderful security features, wonderful privacy feature. And the cool thing about the Orion browser is not only does it do, all the stuff that Safari does, but it also supports the ability to have both Firefox and Chrome web extensions. That's right, people. In this web browser, I can choose to either enable Firefox web extensions or Chrome web extensions, whichever one I prefer. For me, I chose Firefox web extensions, which I'll trust Firefox over Chrome any day of the week. And the extensions I have on that so far is the only two extensions I need. My uBlock Origin and my Privacy Badger. On Chromium, though, there's no extensions on there yet, but I will get extensions on that as well, along, with my Surfshark VPN extension, which I do use a VPN from time to time. Other than that, basically, I also have, a few other pieces of free and open source software. App Cleaner, which is basically the macOS version of Revo Installer, that legendary, wonderful piece of software that I've used on Windows for many, many years. Does the exact same thing as that. And I got CleanMe, which is basically a free and open source version of CCleaner. I also got KeePass XE, my favorite password manager / OTP manager, Surfshark, the Surfshark VPN app. I also got SoundSource, which betters my audio. Oh, sorry. And over here, just the basic macOS stuff, along with basically all the main utilities. So yeah, basically, in a nutshell, I now have a computer that can do 2 operating systems, and I can cycle between each of them through a reboot. It's just amazing. And one of the main reasons why I have macOS back is just like with Linux, Android, Windows, etc. This is going to set up the stage for a lot of Linux content on macOS, a lot of FOSS content on macOS, because there is a lot of free and open source software for Mac, a lot that I may not be aware of that I may want to try. And also, this also opens the door for application spotlights for macOS. Because I do have a few application spotlights planned in the far immediate future that I'll be doing with macOS to show you guys some free and open source software that I'm going to be reviewing on there. I will also be doing on the Linux Mint Mate side just the usual Linux reports, tech reports, that sort of stuff. That'll all be over there. But for over here, the macOS side, there's going to be some different content options for this. Though, maybe on an occasion, you might see the elusive Linux report, tech report, live stream, yada yada yada, from macOS. So, keep a lookout for that. But anyway, what more can I really say? Welcome back, macOS Catalina. And hello to Linux Mint Mate. Two operating systems on one single computer thanks to a Duelboot. But anyway, folks, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. If you enjoy these just as much as I do, then smash that like button, ring-a-ding that notification bell, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. And as always, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 saying see you later.